In his book, 24 Assets, entrepreneur Daniel Priestley lays out the core concepts behind the value of a business. And he argues that every business is worth based on the number of assets that it developed over time. And in particular, there are 24 assets that a business can develop to strengthen its barriers around its ecosystem and increase its valuation while maintaining their competitive advantage in the market. I developed a Notion template for the 24 assets system that you can find in the description. In this video, we are looking at the structure of the template based on an entity relationship diagram that I developed and the key components of the 24 assets Notion template, as well as diving into the template itself to see how it looks like and how to use it properly based on the structure of the system. The template is meant to be the single place where you can manage your business development processes from some core foundations, such as developing your assets for the business and documenting knowledge for your business in a wiki format, all the way to the more operational side of things, such as project management, as well as customer relationships management, all in one place. So let's get into it, starting from the first part. That's the entity relationship diagram that shows exactly what the template is about. And as you can see here in this ERD, or entity relationship diagram, there are three components of the system. There's the core. These are some core databases or the foundations of the 24 assets Notion template. There is a project management component to it, where you can manage your daily operations. And there is the CRM component of the template, that is where you can manage your relationships. And this can be particularly useful also to manage deals and your deal flow, especially if you are a B2B business and you have a deal pipeline that you want to keep track of. Otherwise, you still have contacts, you have accounts that allows you to track your relationships over time. The first component of the system are some core databases here that you can see. And you can see there are lines for each database that symbolize the relationships between databases in the Notion template. And relationships can be one-to-many or one-to-one. And that is symbolized by the endings of these arrows here in the ERD. The first core component of the system is the 24 assets database itself. That's the database where at a high level you can see all the assets laid out based on Daniel Priestley's book 24 Assets. These assets are divided into groups. There are 7 groups of assets, and for each asset you can then see all the projects that you have done over time or that you are working on right now to develop those assets, because eventually your main goal at a high level is to develop as many assets as possible, starting from a small few, to ensure that you build that foundational strength around your business over time. So each asset can have multiple projects over time. And besides assets, you also have a database of team. These are your team members that are a key resource for your business as well, because according to Priestley, a business that develops assets and focuses on developing assets attracts talent, and talent allows you to build assets even more strongly. And this becomes a feedback loop that continues, and once you gain momentum, it can become a very powerful force. In addition, there is a products database that allows you to keep track of all the products that you offer based on the different categorizations of products that you offer, whether it be your core product, meaning your main offering and value proposition for the customers, or it could be a product for client, meaning it's not the core product, but it's still a complementary product that you sell to your clients. It could be a product for prospects, meaning a product that you provide maybe in exchange of an email address, for example, to potential customers. Or it could be gifts. These are completely free products that you provide to give value out there to maybe potential customers in the future, but without any expectation. And this database allows you to centralize all your products so that you can see them all in one place, have quick links to them, as well as link them to any wiki resources that you might have. Because documentation is a key asset that you can develop within your company. Because having strong processes determines also the value of your business. And that is especially true once you surpass the first phase of the startup phase of the business and you start growing and developing your team. Then having those processes documented can create a lot of value for your team members internally and for your business overall as a whole. Because documentation increases the value of the business and provides a tangible proof of how you are managing and leading your business to potential investors or buyers. In addition, the wiki, that is one of the core foundational systems, is then also related to the projects. And projects are part of the project management system that is the operational side of things. That's where you can manage projects that can be linked to the wiki. They can be linked to the 24 assets to exactly pinpoint what are you doing today to develop your assets and what actions are you taking. Actions are like tasks, so they are actionable items related to projects that allow you to advance that project forward. Projects are also related to content, for example, and content can be an asset as well as part of intellectual property, for example, according to Priestley's framework. And content sometimes might be linked to projects. A project can be a campaign, for example, a marketing campaign that involves creating multiple pieces of content. And that's why we have this relationship between the projects and the content database. Projects will also have meetings. These are meeting notes that you can take for meetings that you have internally or with external people in your company environment. And these systems then also relate to the CRM component of the 24 assets system, where you can track contacts. These are individual people that you have in your network. And in particular, as Priestley outlines in his framework, contacts are key to growing your business and to growing the value of your business. And one of the 24 assets, especially when it comes to ambassadors. Ambassadors are those people that associate with your brand and hence can elevate it to a higher level compared to if you didn't have anyone with exposure to people and influence on people that actually associates with your brand. And that's why you would store those type of contacts. Contacts will also be related to deals, and deals and the deal flow is particularly useful if you are in the B2B business, or maybe you are an investment company. That's where the deal flow comes more in handy. If you are in the B2C business, or you're selling to direct consumers, the deals database might not be very useful for you, but the contacts is still very relevant. And there is a company's database or accounts, and these are organizations that are composed of individuals. And that's why there is this relationship between contacts and companies. And you can see then, if we step back, these are the key components of the system, the 24 assets. Everything starts from the 24 assets. That's the higher level vision that allows you to understand what's the status of things with your assets right now and what are you doing to improve them over time. Because improving assets, growing specific assets is directly correlated to growing the value of your business and hence attracting more people, higher quality people, and that creates a flywheel effect that increases the value of your business over time. Now let's get into Notion and look at the template, what it looks like, how to use it, and what are the key components of it, practically speaking. And here is the Notion template. It's called 24 assets with custom icons. There is a usage guide that you can quickly reference whenever you want and when you buy the template first. And at the very top, you can see our philosophies. These are the aspirations of your company: mission, vision, value, and the origin story. And these are at the very top of the dashboard because they are key. They are the North Star that guide everything that you do and every decision that you make. On the right-hand side, there are key metrics. These two key metrics are outlined in the book by Priestley. And these are the team size, how many people are in your team, and what's the revenue per person. What's the amount of money of revenue divided by team size. These are the two key metrics that you want to keep track of to understand the value of your business according to Priestley. And you can update this regularly in here over time, making it be a monthly task to make sure that these things are up to date. And you can then update the date right here as well. Below it, there are 3 quick buttons. One, to create an action item that allows you to add a new action item and open it right there. Another button that allows you to create a wiki doc, so a document that's going to be part of your wiki, and a additional button to create a new contact. So these are the 3 buttons right here that allow everyone in your team to take quick actions. And these particular buttons are for contacts, wiki, and action items, because these are arguably the most important components. Action items allows you to take action on things and make sure that you develop a environment and the mindset of taking action to make sure that you can advance projects. Wiki documentation allows you to keep track of the processes in your company and ensure that everyone has access to them so that they can search first and then ask questions if needed. And contacts are key in developing your business, and especially so when they are ambassadors or part of your network that increases the valuation of your overall system. On the left-hand side, you can quickly access the key components of the system that we just saw on the entity relationship diagram that I showed you. Starting from 24 assets, these are the core systems, team, products, wiki, all the way to the project management side of things, and the CRM, customer relationship management. And on the right-hand side, we can quickly see the latest wiki updates. And these are the documents that have been updated this month, sorted by last edited time descending. We can see the meetings of the week, just like this, in a list view. The active projects, where the status is in progress. The open action items, sorted by assignee, where each assignee is a toggle that you can expand and collapse, just like that. And the content of the week, meaning that's going to be published this week. So this dashboard allows you to quickly glance at what's going on the key components of the system. Now let's go through all the databases and see the structure of them and how to use them properly. The 24 assets database is the highest level database. You can think of the assets as areas of your business that you want to develop over time. Here is all the groups. There are 7 asset groups, from intellectual property all the way to funding. And next to each group and asset, you can see a definition, all the projects related to each group and asset specifically, and a summary count of how many projects and how many assets each group has. You can expand each group to see all the assets within that group. For example, intellectual property is composed of content, methodology, and registered intellectual property. These are the 3 assets that you want to focus on when looking at expanding your intellectual property asset group. For each asset, you still have the definition, and you can see the total projects for that asset that you worked on over time. You can also see projects specifically whenever you open a page. So when you open a group or an asset page, in this case, that's a group. So you will see all the assets laid out right here. These are the assets for this group. And you will see all the projects for this group right here in a board view. This allows you to quickly add projects from the new button whenever you like, and to visualize the projects from the master centralized database into each asset page, so that you can also review things over time and see what's the direction that you are taking with your assets and the projects to make them move forward. The team database is a directory of sorts, where you store each team and all the people within those teams. You can see, for example, finance is a team, and J. Ross and Jane Doe are team members within the team. So when you open the finance team, because there is a template, that is a predefined structure that you can apply to that page, inside of the finance team, you will find all the people or team members for that team. And each team member can be related to one or multiple teams. And when you open the team member page, you can then see the team that they belong to. The first name, the middle name, and last name, these are automatically calculated. And then when you expand that, you can also see the email, the phone number, the date the team member joined your team, birthday, user in Notion. That's where you can select the user that you invite to Notion. Here you can add a headshot that allows you to have a pretty gallery view of all the people in your team, the role, as well as any free text notes that you want to add for each team member. And you can at any time see all the teams right here, like this, and all the people right here, like this. And when you add a picture, that's what it looks like. Products is where you store your products. You can see active products, archived products, and products by type. And that's because each product can be categorized as the core product, a gift, that is a free product, a product for clients, that is not the core, but still a complementary product that you sell to your clients, or a product for prospects, that is a product that allows people to get in touch with your company, maybe in exchange for the email, and they get some value based on that. So you can create new products at any time right here, replace the name of your product, set a description if you like, define the product type, add the product URL. This can be either a public link or it could be your internal product page link where you manage that product. And you can archive it if you want at some point, if you don't sell it anymore. Inside each product page, you have the wiki. The wiki is the documentation that you have for that product. It could be a standard operating procedure on how to update info of your product in the landing page, or the specs of your product, or anything that is related to the product that allows your team members to know exactly what their product is about, why you're selling it, and how to maintain it if needed. And this sets the standard within your team to ensure that everyone is on the same page and knows exactly what you're doing and why you are doing it. The wiki is the core documentation system for your team. That's where you can add new documents quickly from this button, and then follow the prompt. Once you create a document, drag and drop it inside the dedicated section in the wiki. So if I continue, here is my new document. That is a page, and I'm gonna call it document X, for example. The owner is myself automatically, but if I want, I can change it to another user. I can set a verification that allows me to get notified within Notion from the updates panel right here if this document expires, and when it expires, to ensure that as the owner, I keep it updated and I'm accountable for it. This ensures a culture of keeping documents up to date and of search first, where people search for the documentation and make sure that everything is maintained up to the standards that you have. Documents can also be tagged, and these tags are the same exact tags that you have on the homepage of the wiki. And each document also has a template where you can expand each toggle to explain why this document, what it is about, when and how to use it. So if it's an SOP, for example, in this toggle is where you would add the checklist items or a video explaining how to do the procedure and so on. And because that's a page in Notion, you can always use this / command to prompt any option or features that you want to add on that page, whether it be simple text, image, videos, headings, tables, databases, or whatever format you need. And once that's done, maybe this document, let's assume it's about a legal practice. That's when I'm going to drop it inside the legal section. And I can open each section to see exactly the documents there. At the same time, because that's a wiki, I can search it easily right here. And I can also see all the documents in a more structured format that is in a Notion database by changing the view right here, where you can still search for it. And you can see all the owners. You can quickly filter by owner, for example, or by product, by tag, by project, as well as by verification. You can also create new documents directly from this view, from the new button here. You can visualize all the pages that are owned by you from My Pages and see all the pages by tags right here. When it comes to the project management system, you can see that projects will have multiple actions, and projects can also have meetings, and projects can finally also have content. So whenever you open a project page, you can see those relationships within there. And within the project database, you can see a board of all the projects that you have going on. You can see your projects, meaning the ones where I, as the user, that's a dynamic filter, am assigned either as an owner or as a collaborator. There is a timeline of projects based on the date that you set, just like that. And you can see all the projects by 24 assets that are expandable toggles. Right now, there isn't much content, and that's why you only see no 24 assets, meaning that these two projects are not assigned to any asset. But if I were to assign this project to an asset, for example, business plan, you can see that now I have a new toggle automatically populated for me with business plan as the asset and the specific projects for that asset right here. You can scroll all the way to the right and the columns are freezed up until the status. That's a relatively new feature that Notion launched, and it's definitely practical for table views. When you open a project or when you create a project, there is a template automatically applied for you. And this template shows all those components that I explained that are related to the project. At the very top of the page, you can see all the properties that you have. These will determine the status of the project, the owner, the collaborators, besides users, the dates, which you can also set right here with the end date, and you can select maybe the end date just like that. You have dependencies that you can set up that are going to be displayed on the timeline view with an arrow. They're going to maintain the dates when you shift something. The progress bar that is automatic based on the actions completed. And you can also see the DL coming from the CRM. If you close one ADL, then a project gets created. Inside the project page, you can see all the action items. You can see all the content, all the meetings, and all the wiki documents related to the project. And within each of these views, you can also quickly create new content, whether it be a wiki, meetings, content, or actions from the new button here. And whatever content you create in here is going to also be displayed in the master databases that we just saw going through this template. You can then see an overview of the projects at the database level. And finally, when it comes to the CRM component, contacts is the database where you store all your contacts. These are individuals, part of your network. And for each contact, you can then set the company that they are related to. You can link a DL if you use the DL's database. You can set the email address, the phone number, the website, LinkedIn link, Instagram URL, any notes that you might have, and also importantly, the contact type, whether it be an ambassador, a customer, a friend, other, partner, or supplier. And a contact can also be multiple things at once. You then see that contacts are also related to meetings, and that's why you will see that relation. And you can also add relations like that. Here you can see a count of all the meetings that you had with this contact over time. The companies database is similar to contacts, but it stores companies. So it has some specific properties for that, such as the industry. There's a drop-down menu with all the industries available out there. The website, LinkedIn, notes, all the contacts, all the deals. And if this company is a client, there's a formula, depending on the deal, closed one, then this checkbox will be checked, and it allows you to quickly filter based on that property for all the clients that you have in the system. Finally, deals is the pipeline that you can use if you work with businesses, for example. We want to keep track of the deal flow in general. That's why you can see all the new deals, contacted, discussion, meeting scheduled, negotiation, waiting room, closed won or closed lost. There is a database automation right here that says when the status is closed won/lost, set the close date to today. So whenever I move a deal to the closed won status, the close date gets automatically populated thanks to that database automation. For each deal page, you have the contacts for that deal, the status, the value of the deal, the owner, last contact date, source, but you can also add your own sources by typing the name and then creating a new tag. Any notes that you might have, and you can expand more properties to see more things such as reason lost, and that's only to be filled out if the status is closed or lost. And if you want to step back from the pipeline view, you can see deals by month closed with the value right there. You can see deals by year closed, by source, by owner, as well as all the deals created this quarter. And these views are preset for you. You don't need to change anything. You just have quick filters here if you want to filter for any specific condition. And all of that key information then flows into the dashboard, as we are seeing right here, with the wiki, with the meetings of the week, with the active projects broken down by 24 assets, all the open actions by assignees, and all the content going out this week. And this is the 24 assets Notion template, and how it can harmonize your internal operations, starting from the high level vision of the 24 assets of where you are versus where you want to be with them, all the way to the deal flow, the CRM component of your company, and the project management action-driven component of the system, so that your team can be aligned and your business can grow in value steadily over time through the development of the 24 assets as popularized by Daniel Priestley. You can find a link to this template in the description. If you have any questions or comments, you can always leave them down below in the comments section. Thanks for now, and see you in the next one.